Hello, I'm Casey Dinges, Senior Managing Director for the American Society of Civil Engineers. Thanks for joining us today for a discussion on overcoming obstacles when innovating. My guest today is DC Water CEO and General Manager, George Hawkins. Known as a change leader, George is also a Harvard-educated lawyer, university professor, and environmentalist. He has worked in the environmental industry as a corporate lawyer and as a regulator. Several of your projects, such as the Blue Plains Advanced Wastewater Treatment Plant, which is the largest facility of its kind in the world, have received praise from Wall Street, government officials, and the public. How are you able to innovate and still ensure public safety? What are the keys to fostering a culture of careful innovation?
It's a great question, and I think it is fair. There's a lot of commentary in our industry that we're risk averse, and for the right reason. When you have public health at risk, you can't try something new and be wrong. You have to be right all the time. What we built at DC Water is actually a very successful model where we have a pilot scale setup at Blue Plains, a small version actually, several small versions of our plant, which we can tinker with at a lab scale, bench scale, and once we demonstrate with series of programs that some new change will work, then we implement it on site. We do that in partnership with local universities, with private companies. It's at low cost. Universities provide PhD candidates whose goal is to get the PhD. Our goal is to get top-level research. Private companies want to see what the next technology is coming down the pike. You put all that together, and at low cost, you can sample and experiment, develop ideas, and only when you know they'll work, then you implement them in the plant. At any given time at DC Water, we have about 24 PhD-level research projects going on, each designed to pilot the next idea.
Let's talk a bit more about the thermal hydrolysis process that you recently introduced. It's the first time anyone in the world applied that process on this big a scale. That system is really a model for sustainable infrastructure. Can you tell us about some of its benefits to the community?
Sure, it's a fantastic project, and it really represents what I had just spoken about on innovation. We had reached a point at Blue Plains where we couldn't do standard digestion because it was too much space. We have 1,200 tons of biosolids a day, and to have enough conventional digesters, we didn't have the space. So we looked worldwide. We did 40 pilot projects, the kinds I've described, making sure that on a technical basis we were absolutely confident this technology would work. Then it became a financial question. And when the finances worked, the board invested $500 million in this technology. And what does it deliver? Number one, permanent green power on site. It's green power. It's cutting our carbon footprint by a third. It's also on site. For a resiliency issue, our biggest fear is loss of power. And now we're generating a third of the site's power, the biggest power user in the region, on site, not dependent on the grid. It's also now reduced our truck traffic by half. And with 60 tanker trucks a day, we're down to 30. That's cash savings to our ratepayer and good for the environment. And the material that ends up at the end after it's been digested is super clean, so we can turn it into a product with natural organic nutrients in it that we can return to the environment. So on almost every front, it's a benefit to our ratepayers, it's a benefit to the environment, and a benefit to the community, and makes it better for us to run our operations.
DC Water issued the first ever century bond for a public utility. What is a century bond, and why did you decide to issue it?
Sure, and you're right that my view on innovations is everywhere, anywhere, all the time on anything. It's not just science and tech. How do we issue a permit? How do we do a procurement? How do we clean? Anything that we do should be subject to, can we do it better, faster, or cheaper than the way we do it now? On finance, we're building these giant underground tunnels. The largest public works project in Washington, D.C. is us, building huge underground tunnels to take combined sewage and rainfall that otherwise overflows to our rivers in a big rain event, drops them down drop shafts 10 stories underground to these 22-foot interior diameter tunnels, the first one 13 miles long. It's massive, bigger than Metro. And it's designed to last a minimum of 100 years. It works by gravity. There's almost no moving parts. So it's going to be there. My view is this system is going to be in place in Washington as long as Washington is a city. So then the question became, it's a multi-billion-dollar project. Usually conventional financing is 30 years. Why would you make a 30-year group of ratepayers pay the full freight of an engineering response that's designed to have a 100-year minimum life? it's not good to pass on costs to your successors unless it's designed for their benefit. So they should join in with paying for something that benefits them. So by doing a century bond, we're spreading the costs out over ratepayers, all of whom will benefit from the project. So it's more fair. That also lowered our upfront cost of service, and of course ratepayer pressure today is so great. So we did do a century bond. We had triple the interest in purchases than we expected. It was the first of its kind. It allowed us to lower the interest rate and save ratepayers even more money. And it also just captures the imagination of the marketplace, which brings more people to be interested in your enterprise on any of your financing. So on almost every front, we were really excited to do it. It was also our commitment. We innovate on anything and everything, financial or otherwise. We're interested if it can allow us to do our work better, faster, or cheaper.
George, thank you for joining me today for this revealing discussion on innovation.
It's been a delight. I love to come. Thanks for having me.
For more information on ASCE's Interchange program, visit asce.org/interchange. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time on the ASCE Interchange.